Tarot means a lot of things to a lot of different people, often consisting of 78 cards with vivid illustrations. Different combinations will take your minds down different paths of self-reflection. Cards like the Magician may conjure thoughts about maybe what's possible for you. The archetype of the Magician represents creativity. Wherever your mind wanders during daydreams, that's the Magician talking to you. He signifies transformation. Maybe that transformation's going well. Maybe it's not. New job, new city, new attitude. The Magician card is a reminder of who we should embody to manifest transformation. But that's not all. The Magus of Power. With a laser-focused gaze towards the horizon whilst casting a powerful spell. Through his actions and exhibition of will, the Magician can bring unity between the divine, intellectual, and physical worlds. The Magician is all about intelligence and reaching closer to godhood. It's grandiose, but it's powerful. By magic, the Magician brings ideas into reality. There's a way of being this card reminds me of. How well am I embodying it? One of the simplest tarot spreads is past, present, future. A lot of people do it. And in this case, my past is the devil. Often the devil represents an addiction to temptation, vices running amok, or at least running free. I've been known to partake in things more than is recommended, though gratuitous quantities has been a blast. It's less than ideal. Then we have the present, the right now, the Four of Cups, the Lord of Blended Pleasure. A flower gushes luscious liquids into 4 chalices. Pleasure is being had, but the bottom cups being not overflowing indicates pleasure coming to an end. Could this be indicative of my more disciplined, sober transformation? Could be. Then, the future. The Princess of Cups. Princess of the Palace of the Floods. She stands amidst a turbulent, foamy sea. The regal dolphin represents the power of creation. The swans are of Eastern philosophy, suggesting the symbol for the entire creation process. The symbol of ultimate reality. Also, the princess is known to be more of an immature card compared to her more mature counterpart, the queen. Perhaps my newfound mindset, my newfound self-control and discipline will yield a powerful creative force that's powerful, but not quite polished yet. Raw is better anyway. I think we can all agree on that. So a creative revolution could be in my future. I have more self-control, so that opens me up to being less chaotic, but chaotic enough, right? It's still not quite the queen, but I don't want to be a queen. I want to be a princess. I'm serious though. I want my future to be like this princess. I've felt stagnant for a while. I want to create. I will create. On this channel and beyond. I can feel the artistry flowing through me. Words can only take you so far in these matters. It's when I stare into the weird, foamy abyss of the princess's domain that I ponder the limitless potential of fearless imagination. The cards are worth analyzing, but not too closely. Like a dream. The 4 suits of tarot are swords, wands, pentacles, and cups. Cups are in my present and future. Cups are a symbol of the heart. In fact, cups corresponds to hearts in playing cards. According to biddytarot.com, the suit of cups tarot cards deal with are the emotional level of consciousness and are associated with love, feelings, relationships, and connections. Cups tarot cards indicate that you are thinking with your heart rather than your head, and thus reflect your spontaneous responses and your habitual reactions to situations. Cups are also linked to creativity, romanticism, fantasy, and imagination. Nice. This is the kind of life I can get behind. But let me make one thing crystal clear. This is not set in stone. I do feel I'm in a time of emotional upheaval. My emotions are intensifying and catalyzing in a good way. But I have to put in the work to manifest it. So let's get weird to make my dreams come true, shall we? If I wish to welcome the wisdom of the cups into my life, then I should invoke the forces of the universe that correspond to them. Right? Well, that's what I'm gonna do. This is where tarot gets real. Lessons jump off the cards and into action. By now, you probably know I'm a magical guy. Ritual practice is an important part of balancing my mind to manifest my potential. So the question is, how do I turn this card into magical action? That's what books are for. Bam! Remember in Magick, the story you never knew, I talked about a book called High Magick by Damien Eccles. He wrote another book on mystical stuff called Angels and Archangels that, among other things, lists forces of the universe that correspond to certain tarot suits. Turns out cups correspond with the Archangel Gabriel. You might be a little confused here. Don't worry, I'll explain what's going on. Archangels are forces of the universe. They can be invoked for changes in your state of mind or for any other reason. There's lots of reasons. Gabriel is the archangel of the suit of my present and future. She corresponds with cups. She is who the cards have pointed me towards. I want this trend of not overindulging to continue so that I have the energy and clarity to create. Gabriel is hopefully going to help me out here. Gabriel, Archangel of Water into the West. She embodies autumn and the subconscious mind. Her domain is the part of our psyche where intuition, emotions, and dreams come from. I gazed at the Princess of Cups. It was time to welcome her turbulent, foamy seas into my mind to wash out the limited forces that haunt me. I cleaned my room and invoked all 4 aspects of the Archangel Gabriel. The Page, to increase psychic perception. The Knight, to protect against melancholy. The Queen, to be more compassionate or to bring compassion to another. The King, to master your emotions without repressing them. Then I did it every day for like a month. I was serious. This was serious business. The goal is to awaken my emotional capacities without losing myself to them. Perhaps then I could feel the intensities of life without numbness. Numbness is the disease whose cure has been caffeine and dangalank. Though I don't wish to fully banish those substances from my life, I wish to use them in a way that is balanced. The dreamlike mindset of the dangalank, the focused intensity of stimulants. It's enough to give me a rush that blasts intense thoughts and feelings into my psyche. It's pretty invigorating. I like it a lot. The pros are inspiration and unstable flow states. The cons are irritability and poor REM sleep, to name 2. Clearly, the reliance on substances was a clunky way of achieving the energy and peace of mind I craved. The version of myself I desired would generate its own contentment instead of relying on outside sources. Moderation is key. Overindulgence is often a symptom of a greater problem. In my case, the problem was over-analytical thought patterns and numbness. I talked about that. I'm thinking more than I'm feeling, and that's frustrating. Why can't I have both? Why can't I think and feel? Why can't I just be someone who, the best of both worlds, you know? You know? Thinking keeps me from doing stupid stuff, but too much keeps me from doing cool stuff, you know? You know? And so with Gabriel's help, at least once a day or night, I called forth my emotions that lie dormant with the faith that they will awaken me, not break me. I did this with the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, yet another reference to my magic story you never knew. You'll recall the LBRP involves invoking 6 angels, 1 for each of the 4 cardinal directions, plus 1 above and 1 below. But instead of having different archangels corresponding to each of the cardinal directions, I called upon the angel of the west for every direction. Because I'm trying to focus on that. I want Gabriel to help me out here. After even just a couple days of repeating this ritual, I noticed some things that I had never noticed before. I'd be eating Pollo Loco in my car in a parking lot, listening to music and tearing up because I felt such a rush of emotions from the song I was listening to. The chicken was good too, the mashed potatoes, not so much. Things were happening. My emotions were catalyzing. Just a mundane but relaxing activity was enough to make me feel something real. I'd notice little things too, like how green the grass was, how beautiful the day was. My morning meditations were clearer. It was easier to focus on work, but still not perfect. I could speak my mind more easily during conversations. The changes weren't major, but they were noticeable. But the dankalank was still a problem. I was still smoking it every day. The sheer amount continued to dampen me, but I still wasn't ready to stop all the token. Though I had faith that Gabriel would help me out. Then one day, my bud Ryan knocked on the door, and he was like, "Hey, I'm probably not gonna smoke weed for a whole month. Do you want to join?" The timing was impeccable. Yeah, I've been trying to cut down, turns out. Let's do this hiatus. And so began my month-long journey, sans 420. This is crazy. Can you believe all this was happening? I can, because it did. It was all working out. But I still had my doubts. I'd gone sober for a month before, and even during those past sober months, I was doing plenty of magic, alright? I've been down this road before. The tarot cards had outlined my trajectory and inspired a ritual that was clearly working, but I was worried it wouldn't be enough. So, a decision was made. 2 weeks into our hiatus, we would head to a mountain meadow with good company for a special experience. We'd found legit access to a fairy portal for a reasonable price. It was gonna be mind-blowing. The tarot cards and the ritual they inspired were to be the foundation of my trip with 1 foot outside time and space. A journey into the elf nest would be just the adventure I needed to seal the deal on this whole emotional awakening thing. That was the idea anyway. I talked about the fairy realm in Fairies the Story You Never Knew. It's a pretty trippy place, and you just need to know a guy to get there. The state of mind it takes you to can teach you a lot, or it can smack you in the face. And you know, I was looking for more of a transcendental information download than a cosmic bitch slap. So I had to be prepared that sober and magical clarity would prove useful. I never expected the cards would lead me down this path, but you've got to trust in the heart of the cards. Spiritual awakening. It has been great sharing my tarot journey with you, but alas, I'm out of time. It takes a while to make these videos. I gotta break them up, you know? The journey into the fairy portal will have to wait. Do you personally use tarot cards? I'm just curious. What'd you learn? I mean, this is how I use them. There's a billion ways to do it, and this is probably one of the weirdest tarot videos on YouTube. You know, it's one thing leads to another, and sometimes you just gotta roll with where your mind and the cards take you. Even if it's weird. Especially if it's weird.